Hello, Starseeds, to a timeless reading of yours. You may be here because the title is intriguing, or you just caught a vibe seeing whether or not anything within this reading of storytelling time is yours. Use your discernment to take all of that which belongs to you, leave the rest behind, for this is not a one-to-one reading. A few details before we get into the reading. I am Master Seventh, aka Seventh, that reads these energies for you. Should you want to know who she is, what she has to offer, her details can be found in the description box below. I am a Master Healer. I provide remote wellness and or tarot intuitive insights. Should that be something that you'd like to keep in the back pocket of interest. I have other various links on how to navigate this channel and to get access to my sister channel for your viewing pleasures. And all my content on both channels are timeless for you. Alright? Alright, Starseeds, let's see what the messages are for this bubble we're in. The Emperor. Okay? So your anger is what is... It's like American Gods. I think one of the first few episodes is just like a really amazing... I can't find the details. Won't ever happen. I'm not that person. My brain doesn't work that way. But I can tell you, American Gods, first couple episodes, an amazing quote was said about it. It's really good from the guy in the red suit, the red suit, the red hat. You know, he made a quote about, you know, anger is more or less a good thing, you know, because it's a driving force towards where you could end up. You know, it's a moving action. It doesn't stop for anything or anyone. It is ruthless in its behavior. So imagine if we were to discipline that with a dignified form of a mold, that when we can identify it or live within that existence, it doesn't harm us or harm other people, yet it could be an expression that can help navigate a sense of purpose of some kind, because everything has a purpose, okay? Even if it's quote-unquote negative, it's a purpose. All right, so we have the moon. So, yeah, I mean, it is very difficult to find, I think, your tribe at this time. It is very difficult to feel inner self be something and outside everything is off. It makes you think like you're the crazy one. It makes you think that you're the odd one out, the black sheep. And it can then also happen in littler forms where, you know, the more you try to kind of dip your toes to see whether or not the next available person closest to you is interested in giving you their attention to what is permeating through you, your thoughts, your feelings, your sense of expression, your curiosities, your fantasies, your regrets, your mistakes. Like if they're part of that interest, and you may start as simple as like, hey, how you doing over there? And they answer and you feel it in your stomach clenching. Oh no, this is not the right person. And that's your intuition coming into full disclosure for you of what is good and what is not good. And these are major influences of the moment. They're like the oracle definitive energies of what you cannot determine within this bubble, yet maybe having that be the label of this perhaps bubble, it could give you a sense of calmness within this chaotic unknowing, this unknowingness happening, okay? But this unknowingness is also comprised with a whole shitload of possible narrative of what you think you do know. So it pretty much invalidates the fact that you don't know, because you do know. It's just that whether or not it fits, again, that mold of if that's the right connection. And that's where you're back and forth. Is this the emotion to the feeling? Is it the feeling for the emotion? Am I feeling angry because of this person, or is it actually the third person that I already have met, or the third person all the way in my past life of like 10, 20 or further lives away that is affecting me at this moment, that I'm riled up and triggered by? Because there's many ways that a lot of y'all know someone who dabble in the esoterics, and this is becoming a more fluid conversation in the everyday coffee table to bring on the majority of the front as far as entertainment is concerned. You may have heard of the movie, I didn't see it, but the movie Tarot that came out, right? A scary movie, or just in general, depictions of just, you may have seen the Wicca section in the bookstore all the times we went to the bookstore, and you may have seen weird fucking websites of like, call your psychic 1-800 number, you know, tell your deepest feelings and see if your lover is something, if your secret crush is somebody for you. There are all these ways to booby trap you, right? Or to trigger and leave a marking in your consciousness that, oh yeah, I'm also here. But this is then on a topic that is then almost deemed like, oh, I don't know if you should do that. God don't like that. And then it's like, well, what do you mean? I mean, as far as I know, God don't like war either, or murder and all that other shit, or kidnapping and all the other shit that's happening with the children. And you say traffic, I say jam, traffic, jam. All the situation that's happening with just regular people. And you're telling me God like that? And cards is supposed to be a sense of woo-woo, like even these are terrible ninja cards, like ninja slices. They're gonna slice and dice you to death. Like it's interesting the amount of weight we put on things when it's material. It's nothing, all right? What's everything is what's within you, but we don't have the pleasure to look within that without, lots of years of technology being able to give us access to do so, or having the money now that is accessible to do so and being able to see the inside of our body. That commodity is not available for everyone either. But what we do all have in common is that there is something within us. And that within us is in charge of absolutely everything that you are yet still making sense of, validating for self, or trying to shoot the stars towards gaining in reality of construct of your life. Universe is filled to all the corners and crevices of a bunch of shit and resources, and plethora of good, plethora of bad, that you can dabble in, see if you want to pick any of those toys out of possibilities from the toy box and play with it. And then you have people who make that a difficult journey. You put your hand in the box of the toy, you pull out a weird thing, and it's like, oh, I don't know if you should play with that. Look at all those colors. You might hurt yourself. This might fall on your toes. Like, be careful of sharp edges. Like, and they're not the one who grabbed this, but they have something to say. And that's where the world gets fucked up. When an individual goes to play, looks at what they have, and another viewpoint has something to say too, but it's not theirs. It's always going to be the inevitable chaos that we all have in common, okay? It's part of a blessing and a curse, because it keeps us either stuck in one moment and enjoying the moment, and then maybe also mobile in order to get us somewhere. Everyone is in charge of doing the same motion of one way or another, no matter how you're able or disabled to be able to do that, okay? So, look at the bottom of the deck, we have the sun energy. Okay, so that's amazing for you qualified starseeds, all right? Starseeds, it's one of those labels. I mean, at this point, it's also a marketing term, okay? Are we going to trigger you to figure out whether or not you're a starseed? Are you going to be able to use that word starseed? Hey, ma, daddy, sis, bro, homie, I'm like a starseed. And they're going to look at you like, excuse me? No, you're whoever I named you to be. I'm like, don't tread on my imagination of a toy box so quickly. Human. Hue of a man that has no idea what the kind of hue of a man I am. And I'm just expressive. So, yeah. All right, you're feeling a lot of inside stuff. Okay, a lot of inside stuff. And it's not about it being good, and it's not about it being bad, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond. All right, it's not about, it's you clicking on this reading and finding something of resonancy is not having anything to do with the DNA of your flesh. we're saying the whole entire 360 and then some quantum magic of what it is that you are, that also includes your flesh. That all that is connected to all there is, and all there is sometimes has an not sometimes, always has a structure, and you're taking up space within that structure. And without you or within you, the structure maintains itself. So it would be wise to utilize the deep meanings of these energies to make it sing for you, and then understand any chaotic energies that are here to bring them to the surface as well, and to not see your journey as being a dead end just because you can't see the next move, or be deterred by there is maybe a detour that you might be on or have put yourself on. As starseeds, you do not choose an easy life, for you are a vibration that with every decision you make, someone on a parallel universe is being rewarded with the decisions you make, whether they're good or bad. It adds to the balance of what quantum magic is all about. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Starseeds. Some of y'all are like, what is the Starseeds? We're not here to create the label. We need to create a dialogue where you journey safely in giving yourself as many labels as you want to reach the one that you know. I vibe with this one. This one I call mine, you know? And again, it's like putting your hand in a Pandora's box, picking something out of a toy box and seeing if you want to play with that, you know? And finding a tribe that allows you to do just that. And if you don't have anyone, then your nucleus of power of effect that you have for the parallel universe that is happening at the same time with you doesn't need a lot of game players in your world in order to feel the rewards of the decisions that you make. So don't consider yourself too lonely. More like powerful. A powerful motherfucker. Alright. Ace of Wands. A powerful motherfucker. It's cute as I as I'm working on, you know, increasing content and doing all the Jimmy and the jiving of algorithm war, whatever that means. It's interesting paying attention to some of the little details that are happening, like people not liking my video. I'm like, oh, that's cute. You're cute for not liking the reading. I don't think people still understand the energies of what and whom I read for as seventh energy. You know, on this channel it's Bastet, on the other channel it's her sister Sekhmet, and they really don't give a shit about personal opinions. If you lean closer to every listening of the message, you feel like certain gut punches coming. They're like third eye slaps and like flicks to the heart. That's typical feminine energy coming in. But you act right. What are you doing over there? You know, like that is secretly the energy that is a mover and changer. That little whisper on the side note, and I'm always watching you. And I'm gonna come and kick your ass the moment you think I'm not. That's tough mama love. She's a creator. So I don't know why I said that, but I think that's part of the antagonistic energy, you'll start snooping around and sniffing, and you're not wrong for jumping to those assumptions. It's an assumption that you needed to jump to, and if people call you a narcissist for jumping to that conclusion, look them in the eye and say thank you for this acknowledgement, because it's not about the labels that people throw at you, it's what you define, okay? And now, I mean, if you're a narcissist listening to this reading and you think you're a starseed, okay. I don't see that how will necessarily vibe with the flow of all things, but all right. Like the ether would say, do you. Do you. You can only see and only do if you do you. No man has ever been able to conquer the universe. And with the newfound admittance by certain individuals who want to bleed that into the society, that, the aliens, my homies, are real, humans are such low vibrational species. Because where do you see our UFOs? If you're thinking rockets, definitely don't go as fast as whatever some people have said they've seen. So you think you're gonna really be in competition with those individuals that would require probably like 30 days of long ass conversations, 7-hour conversation for a minimum of 21 days to break through? Do we have time for that, or we're gonna keep moving? We're gonna keep pushing? Because wherever we're coming from, we are a force field of vibration. Let them try to entertain themselves with how close they want to come to you. You need to learn your own boundaries, your consensual manners of behaving, your own dignified behavior, your level of control and discipline, and the difference between truth and honesty, and show up. Show the fuck up, all right? And that's what you're doing. Slowly and surely you're doing it, okay? Wherever you are and however of a stronghold you have in your life is part of the life experience that is the human experience. So whatever else is needing to catch up to make the human part of you be comfortable is the space that the human vessel part of you needs for you to grant it that permission to take its time. So some of y'all feel a lot too fast, too much, and then it takes a while for it to process. And the reason why it takes sometimes a bit longer than you want it to, than the initial feeling, is because you may not be putting enough time and attention to the focus of the trigger or the wound at hand to give it a better reaction time of healing than you prefer. Look at that. Healing energy and temperance. All right. Slowly and surely. Slowly and surely you're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. Yeah. All right. Anyway. You're walking with courage. You're walking with strength. You're walking with secrets. And you're figuring them all out by watching synchronicities and time and contingent on maybe dabbling on what those symbols may mean based off what other people have felt that for them to mean. And then there's like a similarity to be found, how, for example, if you see a feather, you might have an initial feeling about this feather. Maybe you feel nothing about this feather besides it being a beautiful feather. Look what I found. And then all of a sudden, a day later, you see another feather. And then 2 days later, you see another feather. And it's like, all right. Like, your mind is at least curious of itself enough to be like, hello, 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 hello. And you're like, well, hello there. You know? And that's good to allow yourself to gently allow your mind to be curious of the engine that it is and creating, I mean, a million thoughts in a nanosecond that you couldn't even if you tried, okay, to make sense of everything that is going on within you. You couldn't even if you tried. So that's not the point. The point is not to try to figure out everything, is to allow it to tell a story. Four of Pentacles, Five of Cups. So hold on to your story, okay? And at this point, it's not so much so the materialistic world around you or the people in your life that make up your story, for that you're here feeling a bit lost. What I'm asking you to turn around to is turning around, at least in perspective, that there might be another side to a situation. And this other side of the situation is you actually having the positive aspects of this card, which is the Four of Pentacles. Excuse me. Which is protective, in control of, okay, in balance and afraid to move because certain variables would fall. Excuse me. Excuse me. And you're like, you juggle really well. You've had your balancing act done well. You've been on the balance beam, putting on an amazing show. And you deserve to understand that there is another side to the situation that is worth everything that you think is your world of being in the underworld. Like, if you feel like you're part of the underworld, or like suck and rut, or like things have been just like sandbag after sandbag thrown at you, there is a quality towards Earth existence that hasn't yet caught on yet to the masses of people. And you may be that individual of the few that might get in contact with this reading that feels it and that anticipates something without knowing what it is, but you know there is something, and that something is good enough. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to justify it. You nearly don't even have to show up to it, because you don't even know what you're showing up to. Just give yourself the perspective that the 360 of, well, the 180 parallel universe of what's considered now difficult is golden on the other side. You're experiencing all the shit because you need to understand what the future needs you to participate in, to keep the future in far more balance than whatever present imbalances we're currently going through. All right. Yes. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. Highlights, I would say. Okay, what are the highlights of the situation? So, 5 highlights is autonomy, karusar. Autonomy. You have divine feminine, the void, is a highlight. We have spirit, act. It's a highlight. And we have conjuring, legacy, another highlight. And lastly, we have bliss, trust. All right, collective. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. And would you like any of my service, feel free to check out the description box below. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.